All right, so we're gonna be doing a tier list on Diamond Fire player events. So I guess let's just go in order. Player drop item. I mean it's all right. It's pretty kind of it's cool. It's middle. I don't know. Nothing super cool you can do with it. Click menu slot. I mean this is like everything in my opinion. I mean like uh, you know, but at the same time you can create better menus without the inventory. So I'm gonna give it an A tier. Fish event. If you've ever used that, then you have a fishing plot. Maybe. Hell, you can make a fishing plot without this event, and it would be better. You don't need the fish event. Just delete it. Player heal. I mean, most of the time you're gonna be healing with the code. I'd say if your game's cool. I mean, it just depends on your circumstance, I guess. But for the most part, it's just a D tier. It's got some cool stuff you can do with the. I'm not even gonna go to it. Horse jump. Who uses that? Consume item. I mean, it's like. I'll give it D for now. Definitely below heal. Uh, Player break item. I mean, that's like when you're mining and your pickaxe runs a durability and it breaks. It's like, who has ever used that? To be honest, if you're doing it, then you probably are making a survival, and most people make terrible survivals anyway, so irrelevant. And even in a survival, like, why would you need to know that? It's just useless. Get rid of it. Player close inventory. I mean, you could totally just trap players in your plot, but that's bannable. So the only real usage for this is like, not that good. Damage players. So if a player damages a player, I mean, that's like probably one of the better damaging ones. Right after, let me just find it real quick. I'm looking for take damage. There we go. Take damage is definitely above player damage, so I'd probably put that down here. Um, Take damage is just so amazing. I mean, you can use it for everything, man. So it's definitely a nice tier. Player death event. Now, honestly, most of the time when you're detecting a death, it's player kill player. So this is like the meh version of that. Still useful in sometimes, but for the most part, no, thank you. Damage entity. I mean, mostly you use that if you want to detect when someone hits an entity, not for the purpose of an actual damage, but just to detect when they hit an entity. At least in kinds of games I make, I guess. But I'd probably give it like a B tier above drop item. Probably definitely top of B tier because its uses are more fun. Entity damage player. I've probably never used this, but I can see it being useful in certain circumstances. So I'd give it like top of D tier. Uh, Player pickup item. Now you can do a lot more than this with this if you just like know what you're doing. So honestly, it's an A tier. If you don't ever use this, then that's cool. But I do, so yeah. Click inventory slot. That's just kind of like the Walmart version of click menu slot. So I'm just gonna put that down in like C tier. It's got cool uses and everything, but like honestly, I've never used it. I know there's games out there that use the inventory for certain things, but for the most part, I mean, come on. Players shoot projectile. Now that's when they throw a snowball or an egg or something, and honestly, I like never need to use that, but I'd probably still put it in like a C tier because it can have some uses. Uh, Projectile hit when a projectile lands. Now this is definitely an A tier. Reason being, I mean, like, I don't know, like when things land and hit something and you want to change the block or do this or that or make it effect or whatever. I mean, I've definitely used it quite a few times, so I'm gonna leave it there. Projectile damage player. I don't know if I've ever used that in my life, but it could be kind of useful. I'll probably put that above close inventory. Player right click, honestly, just kind of overused, but like people got to right click, right? So, um, I mean, it's got to be like it can't be an S tier because it's like nothing cool is ever done with it. So it's just gonna be an A tier because it is really useful. Um, let's see. Load crossbow, get out. Vehicle jump, like, come on now. It can be cool for like some things, but like, shut up. You know, I'd put it above everything else here, though. I guess. Potion effect. Oh, come on, bro. Like, just stop. Just, I guess the only thing below that would be crossbow and break item and horse jump and fish event. Mob kill player. Um, I don't know if I've ever used that in my life. Because I'm pretty sure death detects that too. Actually, it might not, but I don't know. I don't really do a lot of mob games. I don't know. I've never used it. It's probably like a C tier though. Come on, right? Start flight. It's got like one cool use, and that's like when you want to start a double jump or anything that like uses a double click of the space to detect it. So for the most part, it's useless, but because it has a cool use case, it can get a C tier top of C tier. Below click inventory though. The join event. I mean, it's probably the most overused event ever because I mean, who needs to detect joining, right? But probably like right above the A tier. I mean, right at the top of the A tier. Yeah, that's probably a good spot. Player respawn. I mean, like it's all right. It's just I don't have much to say about it. It's just a B tier to be honest. Player kill a mob. No, I'd probably say that's like bottom of the A tier. I'd probably put it above projectile hit though. Right click entity, definitely an A tier, right below right right above, because you know when you're actually using right click entity, that means you're using entities and you're being cool about it. So it's more unique, I guess. I don't know how to really say what I'm trying to think, but yeah. Resource pack decline. I mean, you can straight up just kick someone if they don't use resource packs. So that's probably S tier. Because if you don't use my resource packs, then don't play my game. Just leave. Bye. Left click, definitely above right click, just because it's more fun to hit than to not hit. So yeah. Player right click player. Well. This needs to get used more, to be honest. Like, I don't know, just like if you go up to someone and right click them, it should show like stats if you have stats in your game. Or like in a survival I was making once, I made it so when you can right click a player, it prompts them to trade and they can accept it, and that's cool. So I don't know. I don't really see it used too much, and I think it needs to be used more. So I'm gonna put it near at the top of A. Player place block, so that can be pretty useful for like when players place blocks. Definitely an A tier though. Player kill player, super useful. Definitely like near the clicks, probably below the clicks. Player break block, I'd say that's like right above place block, definitely. Player leave event, I mean, what do people use this for? Just this person has left the game, and if you're cool, use it to save some stuff to stuff, and there's some cool little things you can do, but that's only when you're like cool. So for the most part, nobody utilizes this, and it's just like it's just like you've left the game, and you can use it for nothing else basically. C tier. Resource pack load. So being able to load resource packs now is like the coolest thing ever. So probably an S tier. I'm just waiting for a plot to actually use this the correct way and like make a cool game. But there's only been a couple decent ones so far. Player dismount. Now this one's cool because you can use it to stop players from dismounting, cancel it, and so that's pretty useful. But other than that, like, there's nothing else. It's bottom of C. Player swap hands. You can use this to like detect. It's kind of like an actual button you can make do something, if that makes sense. And most of the time you cancel it and actually just open a menu or do special thing in your game. I don't know. It's definitely an S tier though. Player change slot. Not a lot of people use this, or they just use it to cancel it, and so people can't change slots, and it's not very cool. I've done a couple cool things with it, but for the most part, it's just so niche and whatever. So, like middle of D. Plays Direct, like who uses that? Definitely above Fish Event though. Players stop sprinting, right below Resurrect, so irrelevant. Players shoot bow. I mean, that's like, you know. Let's just go back to that one. Player stop flight. That's got some uses, but it's only when you're like cooler and you use it for like cool things, and most people don't. So it's just whatever. Command event. I mean, you need that to do at help, and if your game doesn't have at help and it's not actually self-explanatory, then you need to figure out like what you're doing with your life, because you did not make your game correctly and you should probably just leave the server. So yeah, probably right there. Yeah, right there. Player Riptide, like, I mean, come on, like, that might be below low crossbow. Player Tame Mob, uh, like, just, why would I, Player Walk, just, it's a mid thing, it's whatever. Same with Player Jump, and Player Sneak is a little more useful. It's whatever though. Unsneak, I mean, that's a little less useful. Definitely a C. Start sprint is whatever, and shoot bow is. This is a hard one to be honest. I mean, there's only a couple things I can really think that would be cool to use with this, but for the most part, just a D tier to be honest. Yeah, I hope you guys enjoy my tier list. It's probably the best one out there. If you want to make a better one, then I guess I might leave a link in the description to create a tier list on this. So, yeah, see you later.